You could do like down tilt into side B, into the neutral air drag down, into another hit. You can hit with the tip of up special. I mean side special. As you can see right there, you just kind of so like being able to like hit a side special into a down air. What's up, gamers? Today is everybody's favorite airbender, windbender, airmaster, windmaster, whichever one you want to call them. But Dragon Windmaster, Lan. Lan's a very, very cool character. He's an assaulter, so a lot of the assaulters are like really, really cool because you can do like a lot of cancels. They have like the wave dashes out of cancels. The only downside to Lan is, as you can see, his jump is like very floaty. If you've ever played Super Smash Bros. Melee or Ultimate or Smash 4, he has a very Mewtwo-esque jump, basically where like his first jump is really slow and his double jump is like even slower. So it makes him really hard for like him to like chase people and like follow them like through the sky. But it is very, very high. As you can see, Lan can get up there. But since it's so floaty, it's really hard to like pressure people with like aerials. Because you can't like just fast fall into those double jump aerials after you double jump, as you can see right there. So his jump is kind of like the worst thing about him. Other than that, Lan has some very, very good moves. I think the only thing that holds him back is his jump and that fact that he's light. But with the kind of character he is, his jump just kind of fits with him perfectly. So, you know, it's kind of like a double-edged sword. So let's just kind of hop straight into his moves. So Lan's grounded A moves are fairly fast. Very good out of shield or out of parry. Dash attack has really, really good launch, so you can get kills with it. Really, really good range, and a very good like burst option, as you can see like how far he dashes. So let's just jump straight into like the demonstration. So Lan's grounded jab is a 3-hit jab. Does 15, which is really good for a jab. I think most jabs do like around 15 and like 13. Fairly good range, as you can see, because he's hitting with the wind. So you don't necessarily have to be on your opponent to hit them with the last hit. This jab is also very, very fast. As you can see, this is kind of like me spamming it. Very, very fast jab. Very good out of shield option because you can like block and go into jab. And as you can see, if you hit the first, like the tip of the first hit, it pulls into the second hit, which pulls into the third hit for you to get that launch. 15, and like I said before, 15 from a jab isn't like too bad. It's very, very good. Lan having this jab to get opponents off of him is a very, very good tool because Lan's out of shield options aren't the best. Lan does have a really, really good grab, but you can see the startup on Lan's grab isn't the best. So it's not like an immediate thing. You don't want to get used to spamming Lan's grab out of shield because the startup is like very, very slow. But being able to jab opponents out of shield or even down tilt opponents out of shield, like after they like touch a shield, is very good to get opponents off of you and basically like reset that neutral. Lan's kind of like a trick character. You kind of blow your opponents up for like trying to catch you or like trying to follow you around. So that's usually how Lan goes. He basically like knocks opponents away from him and then like kind of blows them up for like trying to get in and like punish them, because when they try to get in, you catch them on the wrong DI on like certain combos and they die for having that wrong DI. So that'll do it for his jab. Let's go into his down tilt or down attack, whichever one you want to call it. So Lan is an assaulter, despite his jump being so floaty, because usually like assaulter characters are like pretty fast. But Lan is an assaulter, which means he has 2 moves that he can cancel out of. Lan's is down tilt and up attack. So let's go into down tilt. Down tilt, you can cancel out of with jump. As you can see, you can down tilt, hold jump to get that jump. You can cancel out down tilt into like jump forward air. You can cancel to like turn around back air if your opponent's like DIing in and not ready for the down tilt. I think the best thing to use out of down tilt are both forward air, and at lower percentages you can do down tilt into side B. So right now say it's at 90, but I said Sandy. Sophia's at 90, but if I reset Sophia at 0, you can do things like down tilt into side B to like get those drag down follow-up combos, kind of like that. You can also do like at mid percentages, you can do down tilt. Did not get my cancel. But you can do things like down tilt into up air at like higher percentages if your opponent's like DIing in, but you'll mainly be using down tilt into side B at lower percentages, and then at higher percentages you'll basically be using down tilt into forward air. very, very good. Down tilt will be like his main assaulter move because up tilt starts like knocking very, very far away, as you can see. And just like any other cancelable move that you can cancel out with jump, you can do things like down tilt, wave dash, into things like that, as you can see. And yes, that was a true combo because combo counter said 4. And so that kind of like lets you get down tilt into up air or down tilt into other things like down tilt into like neutral air, lower percentages, or it kind of like helps you set up for that forward air at higher percentages because you can do like down tilt, wave dash into double jump forward air, like around 100 and things like that. So very, very good for land to have. Definitely recommend getting used to the wave dash cancel out of the down tilt so that you can get down tilt into some pretty crazy things. Like being able to down tilt into up air like mid percentages is very, very good because land's up air is really, really strong. So just remember at like the lower percentages, you could do like down tilt into side B, into the neutral air drag down, into another hit. You could do, and then like once they're like around 50 and stuff, you could do like down tilt wave dash cancel into neutral air, or you could do like, let's see, down tilt wave dash cancel into up air. Just things like, kind of like that. Just very, very good for him to have. See, you can, I mean, you can even like get combos from it at like 100 because as you can see, the combo counter says 6. So very, very good for land to have. Down tilt is a very, very good move. You can even do things like at lower percentages like down tilt into up tilt and things like that. So just very, very good. Very good. Like if you kind of get like a read on a down tilt and you just kind of like get the follow up afterwards, like near the edge, you could just do like down tilt into like double jump forward there, kind of like that. So your opponent has to watch out for it. Things like that. Down tilt's just very, very good because it's probably his best cancelable move. Because at those higher, at those like lower percentages, you get a lot better combos. So let's go into dash attack. So land's dash attack, very strong. As you can see the launch angle on it, land's dash attack is ridiculously powerful. The launch angle is really good, very active, hits really low. As you can see right there, Sophia like was kind of like under the stage when I hit her with the dash attack because I dashed into it. So it has a very, very good launch angle. This dash attack isn't safe on shield, but it's a very good burst option because it covers so much range. As you can see right there, like I dashed almost like halfway across the stage from Sophia and it still hit. So very, very good range, very good burst option. Has very, you don't have to hit with like the hand part. You can hit with the wind part, as you can see right there. The most damage comes from hitting with the entire dash attack like that versus, you know, the 8% you would get from just hitting with the last hit. But the main thing is you want to hit with that last hit and you just kind of like want to space it out on your opponents. Like I say, this isn't the safest. So doing this on an opponent's shield, you will most likely get punished. But at those higher percentages, you could definitely get kills. Also, when opponents are like trying to recover and they jump, you can hit them like below the ledge if they're too close to the edge. So very, very good dash attack. Do not get used to spamming it out. Like I said, it is really strong, as you can see. But what usually happens is a lot of land's opponents or a lot of matches with land go to like higher percentages. So you just kind of like trying to figure out how to get that kill. And the thing is if you start spamming out dash attack, which is one of land's like best, it's a really good kill move, but it's a very unsafe kill move. You start to get punished a lot while playing land, and land can't take too many of those punishes because, like I said before, he's really light. So you don't want to keep giving your opponent like those free punishes. So we've talked about down tilt, jab, and dash attack. Let's go into land's up tilt. So land's up tilt is a burst of wind upwards. Even though this burst of wind goes upwards, it does not have a hitbox behind him. As you can see, I can get as close as I want to Sophia. Does not hit behind, but it does hit in front, as you can see right there. And you mainly want to hit with the initial front hitbox with this. And like I said, up tilt is land's second cancelable move. So you can do things like up tilt into jump forward there. Sorry about that. But you can do like up tilt into jump forward there. And basically you cancel out of up tilt with jump. I do want to let that be known because you can't cancel out of it with dash. You basically cancel out of it with jump. So very, very good for land to have. The reason why is because basically you do up tilt and you cancel out of it with jump and like pursue them forward. The sad part about up tilt is that it works very good at lower percentages, because at lower percentages you can do things like up tilt. I did not get my jump neutral air, but you can do things like up tilt into jump neutral air, into like other double jump neutral air follow-ups. Those mid percentages, it kind of becomes a lot harder to combo. At mid percentages, you'll be basically doing things like up tilt into forward air, kind of like that. It's basically like a really good 50 mix up at higher percentages. Like your opponent just kind of like has to be afraid of the forward air, so they either have to like air dodge or like double jump away. And since you could cancel out of it with jump, you could do things like up tilt wave dash. I did not wave dash. You can do things like up tilt wave dash down into neutral air. You can do things like up tilt wave dash down into up air. That was another up tilt. But as you can see, you can kind of like cancel out of it with like wave dash. As you can see right there, it makes it a lot of confirms a lot easier to get. It's just like I said, at those mid percentages, his up tilt just doesn't combo the way that it does at lower percentages, which is understandable. You know, combos are meant for lower percentages, not higher percentages. So that'll basically do it for his up tilt. Just remember, mid percentages is when it kind of starts comboing. Higher percentages, you don't really get anything from it. The only other thing about this up tilt is I want to say like around 140. Up tilt will kill. Let's see, we at 140. So maybe like 150. So at higher percentages, it does become a kill move, as you can see right there. But you don't want to, because like Land's basically like a bully assaulter. You don't want to let your opponent get to those higher percentages. If they start getting to those higher percentages, it's really bad, because Land does have a lot of kill moves in his kit, from like dash attack to forward air and to both of his grabs. Yeah, Land has 2 grabs that are both kill throws. So like an opponent making it to 150 isn't good for Land, because they should be dead way before like 150. So that'll basically do it for like Land's up tilt. I'm trying to think, am I missing anything else with up tilt? You got the wave dash. I think that's about it. So we've talked about up tilt, down tilt, jab, and dash attack. Let's go into Land's forward strong. So Land's forward strong, he covers himself in basically like a spear of wind. And yes, this does hit on both sides. I didn't turn around. I just dashed up in forward strong. I was trying to dash up and turn around in forward strong, but I didn't turn around there either. Oh my gosh. But if you... There we go. As you can see, it has a hitbox on both sides. It hits really hard, 16% whether you hit in front or in back. Just very, very good to just cover both those spaces. Kind of like if you feel like your opponent's like, you're not sure where they're going to land, and you just kind of like want to cover their landing. It doesn't, even though it's a spear wind, it doesn't hit really low. Like, the hitbox stretches out really low, but it doesn't hit under the ledge. I haven't been able to 2-frame opponents with it, so I don't think it hits like under ledge, even though it stretches down there. There are like certain characters that you can hit when they're hanging on the ledge or recovering. Kind of like Macalon, because Macalon's like pretty big, so he hangs over the ledge, and like Miko. But this will mainly be used to like cover both sides. And it's basically if your opponent's like doing something and you're going for a roll read, because you won't be throwing this out in neutral because it's not super safe. As you can see, it takes me a while before I can do another one. So you'll basically like use this when you knock your opponent off stage. You dash back roll distance and throw out a forward strong to see if it hits. If it doesn't hit, you'll basically like reset the neutral. This is basically a hard read move. Very good for catching opponents like when they're getting up off the ledge, because it does linger fairly well. And it is fairly strong. You do get kills at 100 if you hit it like on the edge of the stage. So I think that'll do it with Lance forward strong. Just remember, it does hit both sides. I think that's kind of like the only thing about it. But other than that, it's just a really strong attack. Not something you can cancel out of or something that you can combo with. So that'll do it for all of Lance A moves. Let's go into Lance specials. So Lance specials are very, very weird, as I would say. They're very particular. Like, he doesn't have a special where it's like, I'm going to use a specific special and spam this out and it's always going to work. His specials kind of seem like what I would call utility specials. They normally like buff him or like messes up your opponent's movement. So let's just kind of go straight into him. Land's neutral special is he summons a tornado a set distance away from him. It doesn't home in on opponents, as you can see. So if they're not close enough, it won't hit. Another thing is you can only have one tornado out. So you can't tornado and then turn around and tornado again. You have to wait till the first tornado finish. What this tornado does is opponents that are touched by it are launched into the sky. So that's what I mean when it's kind of like a displacement thing. They're launched into the sky and they're launched towards you. They can still move after being launched into the sky. So like doing things like neutral beat into like forward air and things like that aren't true because your opponents can still like air dodge downwards. They can still get out of the way of it. So like it's just very good to force your opponents to make a move. Like say your opponent like neutral stands on the edge and you don't want to get too close. This knocks them up, and this tornado always knocks up towards you. Another good thing about this tornado, I don't think I can show it off on Sophia because I don't think Sophia's recovery would work, but you can see it right there. If it hits your opponent off stage, it basically makes them float up towards you, as you can see right there. And hitting that tornado does not give your opponents their jump back or anything like that. So if an opponent wastes their double jump getting close and they hit the tornado, they're basically burned their double jump and you can go for a follow-up just kind of like that. You will mainly be using this as like your edge guarding tool against certain characters whose recoveries don't reach the ledge first. So say like Thanatos, you know Thanatos kind of goes past the ledge. You can literally just tornado at the ledge and Thanatos will up special into the tornado and get knocked up, and you can basically get like a follow-up from there or like get aggressive from there. Basically because as you can see right there, they just kind of get pulled onto the stage without a jump. So very, very good characters like Thanatos. I want to say it works really well against Macalon, like if Macalon ever has to go low. Works really well against Miko if Miko ever has to go low. Because as you saw, like it even hit Sophia's like up special. So it just kind of like knocks you up, pulls you towards land so that land can get those followers. So that'll do it for Land's neutral special. Let's go into Land's down special. Land's down special, he throws out one of his windmills. I had to look at it because I was like, I'm not really sure what the item is. He throws out one of his windmills. This windmill gives Land a speed buff. As you can see, this is my speed with the buff. And it lasts fairly long too, as you can see. And this is my speed without the buff. Sad part about this is anybody that gets knocked into this tornado gets a speed buff. As you can see, now Sophia has the speed buff. So that means Sophia is faster. I think that's kind of like the downside with this speed buff. It's the fact that your opponents can use it. Another thing about this is this item can be hit. As you can see, you could side B into it. So that makes this very good for recovering because I'll talk about it when I talk about side special. But just remember, this is a projectile and it can be hit by your opponents and Land can side special into it. Another thing is the initial toss out of this does have a hitbox. It doesn't combo into anything, but it does kind of have, it does like basically have a hitbox where if you throw it out and it hits your opponent, it knocks them away from the buff. So they don't automatically get it, as you can see right there. So one thing you want to notice about this buff is you never want to throw it in a position to where your opponent can take advantage of it, right? So you always want to throw this buff kind of like on the ledge of the stage. That way you can run through it to get that buff to like make yourself faster. And if your opponent wants it, they have to run to the edge of the stage to get the buff and put themselves in a worse position. You don't want to throw this out in the middle of the stage where your opponents can just jump over you and get the buff and have like more stage to work with it. Like I say, the less stage this buff has, the easier it is for Land. So even in some situations like on the edge of the stage, you want to turn around and throw this buff. That way you can basically get the speed boost and like kind of basically like come in and get that pressure on your opponent. Another thing that you can do with this is you can kind of use it to approach, so you could throw out this buff, you can side special into it, go at an angle, and just fall down with that nair. Because, like I say, I'll basically explain it more when I talk about side special. The second dash of side special is safe. So you can do things like side special twice and go for combos like that by side specialing like through the buff. So it's very good like gap closer for land to have, and a very good mix up for land to also have, because it just lets you like close that gap, also gives you a speed buff, and it gives you something that you can side special off of, as you can see right there. I mean, there's even like situations where you can just like kind of throw it out and you can side special and just kind of like keep moving. It's very, very good because, like I said, the second dash of land side special is really, really safe. There's even times where you can like side special through opponents and grab them if they're sitting on the edge of the stage and shield. This is like a very, very good mix up. A lot of lands I fought do this. Basically, like a lot of people like to neutral stand and hold shield. You can just kind of like throw out the buff, side special through them while they're holding shield, because land doesn't go off the stage with side special. Like with the second one, the first one will take him off stage. The second one will leave him like on the edge of the stage, as you can see. And you can turn around and grab like that while your opponent's holding shield. Basically kind of like a mix up. Very, very good. You get the speed boost. Kind of lets you like come in and combo. It lets you get like the corner version of side special without having to hit the first one. As you can see right there, that wasn't the true combo because the percents were too high. But it kind of like gives you like mix up ways to like get in on your opponent. So that'll do it for down special. Excuse me. That'll do it for down special. Let's talk about side special, since we were talking about it with down special. So side special is a dragon dash from land. As you can see, it has very long end lag. Very long end lag. Not something you're just going to spam out and use to get across the stage. Not something you're just going to spam out in the sky. Because in the sky, you can only do it once. And then you have to touch the ground in order to reset it to use again. But if you hit your opponent, or you hit something, kind of like down special, land gets another dash out of side special. Which is really good because, one, like I said when I was talking about down special, that second dash is safe, and you can combo with this dash, as you can see right there. So his side special, you can aim the direction you want to after doing the side special. So if you hold up, land will dash up. If you hold forward, if you hold forward, land will dash forward, as you can see. And like I've shown before, the second dash does not go off stage. And if you hold back, land will dash back. And if you hold it at an angle, land will dash at an angle. So that's where you see like the crazy land combos come from. This was really, really broken in the beginning, but they've nerfed it a lot. So like the side special has like more DI influence. But like at lower percentages, you can do things like side special, up special, and to falling, and to like drag down neutral air, to like continue combos and things like that, because land's neutral special has a lot of hit stun. I mean, not neutral special, but neutral air has a lot of hit stun. You just have to notice what part of the side special you hit your opponent at, because the closer you hit them, the farther through you will dash through them. So at lower percentages, or even at like mid percentages, you kind of want to hit with the tip of side special. As you can see right there, you just kind of have to like notice those angles, because if you hit up close, you have to go sideways to get that angle. But if you're at mid percentages and you hit up close, you can go upwards, because the first hit launches them further, so it launches them in the upwards angle. So you really have to pay attention with percentages when it comes with land, especially when relying on his side special, because at lower percentages, hitting up close with side special, you can't go straight up. So if you hit up close, you have to go at an angle and then combo that way. So just like remember your positioning, and just kind of remember, okay, mid percentages, I want to hit with the tip of side special, so I can basically get the side special into straight up, so I can get those easier combos. So you don't really focus on the angles. The easiest way to get these is at lower percentages. You could do things like down tilt, side special, upwards into drag down, kind of like that. Those are some good like low percent side special combos. At mid percentages, like I say, you want to hit with the tip, so that you can do things like side special into upward side special. You can even like hit close range into double jump, because you can double jump after this. So you can do things like side special, then upwards, and then double jump into up air, or you could do side special, upwards, double jump into forward air. As long as you're like within those percent ranges, it's very, very good. Knowing when to use double jump and knowing when not to use double jump during side special is also very good. So like at lower percentages, you could go like side, angle, back air, or you could do things like, let's see, side, angle, double jump, side, upwards, up air, things kind of like that. You just have to know when you're going to double jump, when you have to use those double jumps, and all of those are based on character percentages. That's what I think makes Lan like one of the hardest characters to play, because his side special, which kind of is his niche, really relies on the percentages of your opponent, and Lan builds a lot of damage very, very fast. So like once your opponent like gets to those percentages where they just kind of like get out of things, it's really hard for Lan to get like those easy cheese kills. But like I said before, Lan does have really, really good kill options outside of the cheese kills from side special. As you can see, Lan's up here is like really strong, but he has a lot of other really, really strong moves. So I think that about do it for side special. I do want to say any Lan mains that see the video, please drop comments on like tips for side special, because I'm not a Lan master. I'm kind of like your basic Lan player. I've looked at a lot of Lan videos, but there's still like a lot of Lan combos that I don't know, because there's so many. Like Lan's combo game is ridiculously crazy, especially when it comes to him having side special. So just like drop probably like combo routes in the videos, or like reference somebody that other players that want a main lane could like ask about combo, basically like combo routes and things like that. Because like I say, like Lan has a lot of combos, not the easiest things to do. So that'll do it for side special. I know that one took a while, because side special is really, really important in your Lan gameplay. Let's talk about up special. So Lan's up special is a giant tornado. Lan can act out of this up special with any button. So you can up special into jump, or you can up special into like an aerial or back air, things like that. As long as you still have that option available to you. So you can even up special into air dodge. This tornado also knocks opponents upwards, as you can see right there. It's not true, so like your opponents aren't like stuck in hit stun as you knock them upwards. As you can, like they can like double jump or get out of this, or they can, oh man, I nerfed the Lan's up air, sucks so much. But his up air used to be a lot better, like the suction on it used to be a lot better. But your opponent can't act out of this up special, like they're not just stuck with you. And as you can see, it throws both of you to the top of the screen. If your opponent isn't ready and they don't press a button, you can get a follow-up off of it. It also doesn't have to be directly on them. As you can see, like them just touching the tornado launches them upwards. Really, really good. Also very good to use on opponents when they're recovering, because you can do things like you can knock them off stage. I was like, please don't kill. You can up special so that they have to get knocked up towards you, and then basically like combo them from there, or like put them in a really bad position. So it's basically kind of like a bigger version of his neutral special. Basically like a really good displacement. Kind of like sets the opponent up in like bad situations. Also, very good for recovering low, because you can up special, double jump, and then like air dodge. As you can see, like Lan's air dodge is really, really crazy. Goes very, very far. And then you can do things like double jump and then up special and still move, or double jump out of up special. You don't necessarily have to double jump first. You can just kind of like, if you're far away, you can up special, wave in, and then double jump. As you can see right there, if I have my air dodge available, I could have made it. So that's kind of like a really good thing with Lan. One thing I definitely recommend with Lan is not relying on your double jump to get you to the ledge. I actually recommend up specialing early, and then having the mix-ups of double jump or falling with an aerial. In that point, even if you do get contested, like someone hits you, you just get your up special back, so you can up special again without using your double jump, and you can you also have the mix-up of side special to get to the ledge. Speaking of recovery, I missed the one thing I wanted to talk about with side special. it's a very, very good recovery option. So this is gonna be like this is gonna be in the middle of the up special, but with side special combined with down special, if you down special in the sky and side special immediately, land will side special into the down special, giving you your instant double dash without you having to like basically like hit an opponent while off stage. So kind of like this. And you can use it to mix up your recovery and to get that, because this is kind of like a double jump without using your double jump. So that makes land's recovery a lot better. You don't have to aim this or anything. You literally just like down special and mash side special or press side special immediately, as you can see, and you can just basically move immediately. So that was the one thing that was one of the major things I did want to talk about with side special, that it is a very good recovery option for land to have, because like I said, the second dash of side special does not have any in lag, so you can act out of it immediately after doing that second dash. But back to up special. But up, that's basically it's kind of like a big double jump for land, and like I say, the tornado is kind of like displacement, as you can see right there, because it pulls opponents up. And like I say, you can still do everything out of up special. So that'll do it for up special. We've talked about down special, we've talked about neutral special, we've talked about side special and up special. So that'll do it for land special. Let's go into land's aerials. So land's aerials by default are really, really good. These aerials are very good, especially his neutral air. His up air was godlike until they, you know, kind of nerfed the suction hitbox on it. So now it kind of like works when it wants to. You have to be like at a very, very specific spot. You can't just throw it out like you used to. But let's kind of jump right into it. So land's neutral air, a lot of people hate this neutral air. This neutral air is really, really good. This neutral air has no end lag on landing. As you can see, I can just kind of throw it out and dash away. Very hard for opponents to deal with. You can do like a lot of crazy things, like since it hits and it has like, because land's neutral air has a lot of hit stun, you can do things like neutral air down tilt if your opponent like doesn't get knocked up. You can do things like neutral air, that was 4 there 1, but you can do things like neutral air up tilt, as you can see right there, 10 hits. You can do things like neutral air down tilt, there's the neutral air down tilt, because it has different hitboxes. Like if you don't get the bounce up part, doing like neutral air into down tilt is like really good. But if you're afraid you're going to get the pop up part, you can always do neutral air into up tilt. So like when it comes to land, you can't punish the neutral air unless you parry it. So your opponent, a lot of opponents will either go for the parry, and if they don't get the parry, they'll wait for the second option after neutral air. Neutral air has a lot of hit stun, so much to where you can do things like neutral air into side B. Very, very good. You see a lot of lands do that. Like you see a lot of lands just kind of like land with neutral air into side B, as you can see right there. You see a lot of lands do things like I'm trying to get Sophia in the sky, like that was a double jump, but double jump neutral air into chase with forward air, kind of like that, because neutral air just like launches really well. This is a very, very good angle and sets up a lot of things. So like hitting like neutral air into like, why am I not getting my double jumps? Into like a chase, like chasing with forward air, kind of like that is very, very good. Like out of like side special, people do things like into back air, things like that. Like very, very good for land. This neutral air does a lot for land, covers a lot, very, very active, so you can just jump at opponents with neutral air, kind of like that. You can do it out of like down tilt and up tilt, so you can do things like down tilt wave dash neutral air into like back air. Just very, very good. Sets up a lot. Hitbox is huge, covers land's entire body. If you land with it, it's safe. Just very, very good neutral air. I will not recommend getting used to landing on your opponents with this, because then your opponents will like catch on and they'll start to punish you for it. But until your opponent catches on from it, very, very good mix-ups. Just land on opponents with neutral air, take advantage of landing on them with neutral air, or even like anti-air them with neutral air, or hit with the last part of neutral air to get that knock up so that you could chase them. So that'll do it for Lan's neutral air. It's one of his best approaching options because, like I say, it is safe on shield. Hitbox is huge. You can mix up the timing when you want to land with this neutral air. So just very, very good. So that'll do it for Lan's neutral air. Let's go into Lan's forward air. So Lan's forward air is a double wind swipe. This forward air has a lot of range. As you can see, covers a lot. The sad part about it is Lan's jump is so floaty. So if you instant short hop in forward air, as you can see, you don't hit your opponent. So you have to delay the forward air a little while before you do it. But this forward air hits really hard, very strong. As you can see, like you kind of gotta have to like forward air and like fade back, or forward air and like wait for it, kind of like that. Hits really hard, really, really good launch, as you can see right there. Another thing about this is, since it's a two-hitting forward air, you can do things like forward air 1. Kind of like that. So you can do things like that. It's very good for like mixing up your opponents and catching them off guard. As you can see, you can do things like forward air. I missed the forward air 1, but you can do things like forward air 1 into down tilt if your opponents aren't ready. Just like being able to like use forward air 1 and then to also mix it up to where, like, say you don't want to do forward air 1, say you want to do forward air 2 because you've been spamming forward air 1 and your opponent's looking out for the single hit. Then you just go for the double hit at that point and get the launch from the double hit. Very, very good. Like Lan's short hop forward air is very, very good. You can like do it and fade back and go into things like side special. If forward air 1 hits, like you can do like forward air 1 and fade back, kind of like that. So very, very good. Lan's forward air 1 is a very good tool for Lan to have, but you can also mix it up and go for forward air 2 to get that launch and knockback. Just once again, another good tool that Lan has that he can take advantage of. So that'll do it for forward air. Let's go into back air. So Lan's back air, he swings the I want to say they're like bells, like wind bells, wind chimes. He swings them around and slaps with them. This back air has some pretty good range. As you can see, I'm trying to get, there we go. I'm trying to get close enough. But as you can see, this back air also has 2 hit spots. It has a sweet spot, as you can see from the sound. It also has a soft spot. As you can see, the sweet spot hits a lot harder. And the sweet spot is that white circle, as you can see, that white circle that appears when he swings. That's the spot you want to be aiming at with back air. It hits really hard. The sad part is, even though it has a sweet spot, as you see it like at 127 and didn't kill Sophia, it doesn't hit as hard as forward air. So that's kind of like the sad part about back air. Like back air has a sweet spot and back air sounds like it hits really hard, but it doesn't hit as hard as forward air. Also, getting that sweet spot is not the easiest thing to do. So in situations where you would like use back air, I would definitely recommend just using forward air. You cover much, it lingers more, but if you can hit a back air, I say go for it. But in any situation where you would back air, I would just recommend using forward air over back air. More mix-ups from using forward air, and forward air just has like a launch angle that's more straight to the death box. As you can see from the red line, back air kind of knocks upwards, and forward air just kind of like launches straight to the corner. As you can see right there, even though that was the soft spot. So that'll do it for back air. Let's go into Lan's down air. So Lan's down air is a dive kick. This dive kick is also a spike. So the sweet spot spikes, and the sour spot, I still got a spike. The sour spot knocks away. Very, very good. The reason why this is really good, because I don't think forward throw will kill from here, because you can literally just down air off the stage and make it back. Like you can just run to the edge and down air and probably like collide with your opponents, hit their recoveries. If you get the sweet spot, you get a spike. If you get a sour spot, you basically like knock them away back into the blast zone. And very good, because Lan can always make it back. Very, very good. Another good thing about this is With land side special, you could do side special out of you could do anything out of side, like any aerial. So at lower percentages, you could do things like down air. I didn't get my double jump into down air, but you kind of get the idea. Just kind of like side special to double jump down air, kind of like that. You can even do this like off the stage. So like if your opponent is like off the stage, my gosh, the DI influence of the side special. But if your opponent's like off the stage and you can catch like a double side special into like down air, very, very good. I think that'll just about do it with down air. Just like probably like catching like a down air off stage, or like probably mixing it into like your side special combos. Man, the nerf to land was real. But mixing it into your side special combos are very, very good. Like I said, a lot of the land side special combos they do depend, they rely heavily on your opponent's like DI. But even at lower percentages, if you catch someone with like a down tilt on the edge of the stage, you can do things like down tilt, side special, into like down air, kind of like that. And if your opponent isn't ready, so like being able to like hit a side special into a down air off the edge of the stage is very, very good. The sad part about it is that like the down air hits from so high up that they'll be able to come back, but it will put like some fear in your opponent. And hitting like a random like raw side special off stage will help, since we're too high, but it will help because even if you hit a random one off stage, you can basically get a down air and get a kill. So that'll do it for down air. Let's talk about up air. So Land's up air is really, really crazy. It's basically like a suction into an explode, like he sucks you in with his palm and then like explodes you upwards. Very, very good. As you can see, hits really hard. The thing about this is the startup of this, which is the suction that pulls opponents in, actually is actually a hitbox, and it's multiple hitboxes that pull opponents in. So as you can see, like the suction actually does % damage, and when they're pulled in, they're in hit stun until they're hit by until either the up air is finished or it hits. Very, very good up air because it just kind of like cancels out like a bunch of hitboxes that don't come out before it. Also, another thing that you can do is like when you're on the ledge, you can basically short hop on and like up air like that, and it basically like sucks your opponent towards you or pulls them off stage. Another thing is, this is fairly safe. So say your opponent's like on the edge and they're holding shield, you can basically get on stage with up air and basically keep moving, as you see right there. Like basically just drop down, and I'm missing my drop downs, but basically just like kind of drop down up air and move, kind of like that. Very, very fast. A really, really good mix up. If your opponent is too close to the ledge, they'll get like sucked in by like the up air. As you can see right there. And you can like basically just do this and use this to get on the stage laglessly. Very good mix up for Land to have. Very good mix up to remember, because like I say, Land's jump is really slow. So jumping from the ledge isn't the best because your jump is really, really floaty. So that'll do it for up air. The thing about up air is you kind of want to make sure your opponent is above you. Because like I say, like I've been saying, Land has received some nerfs. So like if your opponent is like right in front of you, there are times where up air won't work. Up air also hits really, really hard. So like being able to do things like side special 1, 2, I didn't get my double jump, but 1, 2 into like up air to like get those kills. Very, very, very good. Kind of like that. It's just a good kill confirm from anywhere on stage because it kills directly upwards. So just kind of like have to remember that. Remember that you have to be in like the perfect position for the up air. Once the up air hits, it hits really, really hard. Sometimes you'll have to double jump to get the up air out of side special, like at mid percentages. I mean, sometimes you won't have to double jump to get the up air at mid percentages, but at higher percentages, you will definitely have to double jump, and that's when it comes in, because as you saw right there, Sophia was in front of me getting hit by the up air, but it didn't suck her into the sweet spot. So you just have to like know those percentages, know what you can hit, know when you can hit that up air, and basically just know that timing. Like I say, Lan is a very, very percentage-based like character, so you have to pay attention to those percentages. Make sure you're paying attention to the percentages, because if you're not, you'll end up missing a chance to like get an easy early kill, because Lan really wants to get those early kills because he doesn't want to let his opponent stay alive too long, because Lan is not light enough to like let his opponent like live those like higher percentages. Like when someone gets to 100, you want to be aiming for side special, into up air like immediately. And if you can't get those and they're like past those 100 percentages, you want to like focus on grabs and like burst dash attacks. So that'll do it for up air. We talked about down air, neutral air, back air, and forward air. So I think that'll do it for all of Lan's aerials. Let's go into Lan's grab. So Lan's grab is actually really, really crazy. I consider his grab to be a tether grab, as you can see, because the range at which you can grab people from is really, really good. As you can see right there, his dash grab has more range than his regular grab. So like just being able to dash grab and grab people from that distance, like you see how far like Sophia is really, really crazy. And add that to the fact that both his forward throw and his back throw are both kill throws. As you can see right there, it's very, very good. Like there'll be times where like your opponent will neutral stand and you can dash forward, dash back into, I don't want to dash forward, dash back and go forward, but you can kind of like dash forward and dash back into a pivot grab. So you can be like dash forward, dash back, and pivot grab to like get a grab because it has so much range. It's very, very good because your opponent isn't ready, like isn't expecting to like get grabbed from that distance. Very good for him to have. Another thing is this grab also covers, I don't think I'll be able to like knock Sophia away, but this grab also covers roll distance. So if you stand on the edge of the stage and hold shield and your opponent rolls, you can grab them from roll distance while your back is on the edge of the stage and get a back throw. And like I said, his back throw and forward throw are both kill throws. Very, very good. So if you're looking for like a cheese kill, you can just kind of run, put your back to the edge of the stage and hold shield, and when your opponent rolls, just turn around and grab. Or if they use a neutral, like a get up attack, just grab, and if they jump, follow them and basically like punish their landing when they jump away. Very, very good. To start off, I think roll takes you about here. I can check and see. Yeah, roll takes you about here, and you can literally just stand backwards and grab. So very, very good for Lan to have. Like I say, just kind of like trying to get those cheese kills, just kind of like knock your opponent off stage, and you can dash to the edge of the stage, turn your back, and just hold shield. Wait for your opponent to do something. If they get up attack, you grab them out of shield. If they roll, you grab them. If they jump, you chase under them and punish them with their basically side special, because that'll be one of your best like landing like punishes, which will be side special. So that'll basically do it for Lan's grab, because like I said, forward throw, multitude of wind blast, and it kills, and back throw is just one quick fast back throw, and it also kills. So him being a character that can build so much damage with 2 kill throws is really, really crazy. His forward throw is actually my favorite forward throw in the entire game. I actually love it, just like the multiple blasts. So that'll do it for his throws and his grab. Like I say, to me, it's kind of like a tether grab, because you don't have to be on your opponent to grab them. You can just kind of like be a very good distance away from them to grab them. So keep that in mind when dealing with your opponents, when dealing with shields. You don't have to get in their face to punish shields. You can actually stand a great distance and punish shield from a distance. And the distance that you can punish shield, you can punish with down tilt, you can punish with jab. So basically that's why this is really good, because his jab range, down tilt range, and his burst dash attack range is also covered by his grab range. So it's a very, very good mix-up options, just being in front of your opponents when they're shielding, because they're not sure. Because you can even do things like run up, jab check, into grab. Kind of like that. So very, very good for Lan to have. So let's talk about Lan's combo game. So Lan's combo game, like I say, it's a lot. Lan has a lot of really good combos. A lot of them that I don't know because land has a lot of routes that he could do. But basically for me, I try to keep it really, really simple. At lower percentages, I look for things like neutral air to down tilt to like get combos started. Cause like I said, at lower percentages, you can do down tilt into side special, into drag down neutral air to another aerial, kind of like that. At mid percentages, you can just kind of like do things like side special into neutral air, into like forward air, things like that. I know a lot of people like to go for the resets and things like that. But since land is a very percentage-based character and his side special is very like DI dependent, I focus on getting opponents to 100 so I can hit the side special into the up air so I can get those kills. So I stick to like very, very strict routes. Other land players are like very free-flowing. They'll take a side special off of anything and kind of like convert it into a combo. So at those lower percentages, you want to like use neutral air into like down tilts to get side special, or you want to whiff punish with side special to get those combos and follow-ups into the drag down neutral air. So the thing with the drag down neutral air is side special has some very good hit stun on it. So you don't have to neutral air immediately after hitting the side special. You can actually, the thing is you have to delay the neutral air after hitting the side special to get the drag down. So what you want to do is you want to side special and then delay it. And if you're at the right point in the screen, you'll just drag them down so you can do the reset. So kind of like this. Like that. So at like those mid, and like I said, like as you notice, like that was 2 interactions and like Sophia's at 100. Land does a lot of damage really fast. So basically that's what you want to look for, like at those lower percentages. Remember, if you hit a side special from the ground, you get the drag down. If you hit it from the sky, like if you hit it from down tilt, you don't get the drag down reset because you'll get the last hit of neutral air and they'll pop out. But if you hit the side special from the ground, delay the neutral air. Oh, I delayed it a little bit too much. Too much again. The sense might be too high now. But if you hit the side special from the ground, you can delay the neutral air to get a drag down into like another reset. And like I say, it depends on what part of the side special you hit. So if you get a drag down delay, if you get the chance, you want to drag down and dash back, kind of like that. That way you can get the sweet spot of that side special that you're looking to hit. Very, very good for land. Like I say, land builds a lot of damage really, really fast. Like land's damage is really, like land's damage building is really, really crazy. Like you kind of get hit by a side special and take tons of damage, or you can get hit by a side special and die. So like I say, that's why his side specials like very, very important. Landing those side specials are like really good. And then like I say, he has a lot of kill options. So like once your opponent gets out of like those side special kill confirms, you have things like dash attack, forward air, back throw, forward throw, and like up air. So that'll do it for like his combos. Like I say, you want to do like a lot of falling neutral airs into like down tilt, or falling neutral air into up tilt, kind of like that, to like get those combos. That's how a lot of your combos will start. And you'll basically want to extend them as far as you can by doing things like up tilt into wave dash cancel up air, or doing things like down tilt into wave dash cancel up air. Just basically like things to basically take advantage of your combo tools. Like I say, your main combo starters will be down tilt and up tilt, and your main combo finisher will be up air. And just remember, when your opponent is at 100, you want to hit side special into up air. That's one of the main things you want to look for. If your opponent makes it past like that 80 to like 100 mark and get into like 120s, then you just kind of want to start fishing with basically like grab that throw or like aggressive situations off stage, because land can get like very, very aggressive off stage. So I think that'll do it for my land guide. Like I say, I don't know everything about land, like all of his combos. It's kind of like a beginner guide. So I'm definitely asking like anybody who mains land, or like any like land masters, anything that I missed or anything that I didn't say or like talk about, please put it down in the comments, because land is one of those characters that's kind of like Tina, where you have so many different combo routes, you have so much potential. He's just a all around like very versatile character in terms of his like combo game. So you can mix up and do a lot of different things. So like knowing them without being like a land main is like really, really crazy. So that's why I'm asking like any land mains out there, please let me know if I'm like missing out on anything, or you have any tips for like the people who want to main land, or people that are really interested in it, because I know land is one of the most requested characters. A lot of people like playing land, but his floaty jump and his like really weird neutral make it very, very hard to play him. So that'll do it for the land guide. Like I always say, if you like the video, leave a like, comment, subscribe down below. Keep your eyes out for the next guide, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.